I'm very excited to show you all the pre-production Koenigsegg Jesko. This is a validation car that we built according to the principle of the production line and is getting very, very close.
Christian Von, the Koenigsegg CEO, was not wrong when he made headlines in the auto industry. When it comes to hypercars, only one name truly dominates the conversation: Koenigsegg. The Jesko Attack V8 isn't just another supercar, it's the hypercar's hypercar.
Show you some fun track driving with the Jesko pre-production car. It's not fully fine-tuned yet, but you'll see it's quite exciting. So here we go.
Redefining what extreme performance means, blending jaw-dropping artistry, groundbreaking innovation, and blistering speed, Koenigsegg sets a new standard that shakes the entire automotive world. It's not just a hype, it's the future of hypercars, engineered to leave everything else in the dust and the entire industry in shock: aesthetics and design. The Koenigsegg Jesko Attack V8 is one of those rare cars that completely shifts the atmosphere around it the moment it appears. It's not just a vehicle, it's an event. Even in an era where wild hypercars and EV concepts dominate social media feeds, the Jesko Attack somehow manages to feel like it's operating on a totally different level. People don't just glance at it, they stop in their tracks. Car enthusiasts, kids, casual passers-by, even people who couldn't tell a turbocharger from a toaster, all react the same way when they see it. Mouths slightly open, phones out, heads swiveling like it's a UFO landing in front of them. And honestly, it might as well be. From the very first glance, the Jesko Attack looks like it was drawn by someone who was told to design something faster than light itself. The proportions are extreme. It's wide, low, stretched out, and everything about it screams speed. The front end is a perfect blend of menace and precision. Those ultra-thin LED headlights look like they're squinting with purpose, giving the car a focused, aggressive stare. The hood is chiseled and vented, but somehow the lines remain fluid. It's like looking at a weaponized piece of modern art. Every crease has a reason. Every scoop is breathing. And it's all woven together in this sleek, predatory shape that never looks busy or forced. Now, the rear is where things get truly dramatic. That massive carbon fiber rear wing, the one that looks like it belongs on a prototype Le Mans car, is an absolute showstopper. It rises above the car like a crown made of pure function. People always point it out first. It's not just huge, it's beautifully integrated into the flow of the car. The swan neck mounts are straight out of racing tech, and together with the aggressive rear diffuser and those quad exhaust tips, the back of the Jesko Attack could be a poster by itself. Most people seeing it for the first time don't even try to hide their shock. "Is this even real?" is a common one. Others just swear under their breath or laugh in disbelief. It's the kind of design that makes you question if you've ever truly seen an extreme car before. The sides are equally fascinating. When the dihedral synchro helix doors open, Koenigsegg's signature move, you can physically hear people reacting. They don't just open upwards or outwards. They spin in this perfectly calculated arc that makes opening the door feel like a performance all on its own. It's part spaceship, part sculpture. Then there are the air intakes sculpted into the flanks like muscular gills, feeding the engine and slicing through air with surgical precision. The roofline is incredibly low, the stance impossibly wide, and everything about the silhouette just drips with intent. Even from 50 feet away, you know this isn't something normal. This is a design taken to the absolute edge of reason, and it works. And let's talk carbon fiber, because this car is practically dipped in it. The raw carbon finish with clear coat is a fan favorite. You can literally see the weave of the material, and it gives off this shimmering, high-tech vibe under sunlight. The panels reflect light differently depending on the angle, creating this ripple-like effect that makes the whole body seem alive. Some people prefer bold colors like Koenigsegg's signature bright orange or acid green, and those turn heads in a completely different way. Louder, flashier, more in your face. But even in black or silver, the car holds an intimidating beauty that doesn't need to scream. It just exists, and that's more than enough. What really makes the Jesko Attack's design so mind-blowing is that it's all deeply functional. Every vent, every duct, every splitter and winglet was designed not just to look wild, but to control airflow with absolute precision. This isn't just for show design, it's race-bred aerodynamics disguised as art. Yet the Koenigsegg design team has somehow managed to avoid making it feel clinical. It's still emotionally powerful. It still gets your heart racing before the engine even starts. It doesn't feel cold or detached. It feels like a living, breathing machine, like it has a personality shaped by the wind and speed itself. And then there are the crowds. Whether it's at a car show, a racetrack, or just being unloaded from a trailer, the Jesko Attack pulls people in like a magnet. People want to touch it, take photos with it, they all do, and just bask in the presence of something so obviously next level. You'll hear things like, "This looks faster than my future," or "That's not a car, that's an alien weapon." Parents lift their kids up just so they can get a better view. And even hardcore Ferrari or Lamborghini fans stop trash talking for a second and just respect the thing. It's one of those cars that levels the playing field. It doesn't matter what camp you're in, JDM, muscle, Euro, EV, everyone agrees. This is something special. To sum it all up, the Koenigsegg Jesko Attack V8 is an absolute masterclass in automotive design. It combines outrageous aerodynamic engineering with jaw-dropping beauty in a way that no other car quite manages. It's wild without being messy, aggressive without being cartoonish, and purposeful without losing its emotional punch. When you see it in person, you don't just admire it, you feel it. The design doesn't ask for attention, it demands it. And once you've seen a Jesko Attack up close, every other car, no matter how exotic, just feels a little less exciting. Especially when you learned how perfect it performs on the road. Let's talk about speed. The V8 Attack. The Jesko Attack is a shining example, no, a blazing meteor of what happens when you mix unrelenting ambition with world-class engineering. It's the car equivalent of controlled chaos, a machine built not just to go fast, but to obliterate expectations. And at the center of this monster is one of the most insane V8 engines ever dropped into a car. Let's talk numbers first, because that's usually where people's jaws start to drop. The Jesko is powered by a twin turbocharged 5.0-litre V8 that's hand-built entirely in-house by Koenigsegg. On regular pump gasoline, this engine produces a face-melting 1,280 horsepower. But switch to E85 biofuel, a blend of 85% ethanol, and it kicks things up to a staggering 1,600 horsepower. That kind of number used to be reserved for land speed record cars or science fiction, not something that can idle in traffic and pull into a parking spot. It's raw, thunderous power that makes your chest vibrate just thinking about it. Now, while a lot of high-performance engines use twin turbos, Koenigsegg takes it several steps further. The turbos in the Jesko's V8 are fed by a clever pressurized air injection system that essentially eliminates turbo lag. Normally, you'd have to wait a moment for the turbos to spool up, but not here. Thanks to the air-blasting pre-spool setup, boost is available right away, which means when you slam the throttle, the response is immediate and violent. You feel it in your bones. Another standout feature is the flat-plane crankshaft. That alone might not sound too wild, but when you hear it rev to 8,500 RPM, you realize just how aggressive and exotic this engine really is. Most American-style V8s are big, low-revving brutes. This one behaves more like a race-bred screamer. It revs fast, it sounds feral, and it doesn't stop pulling until you're practically in another dimension. And this crankshaft isn't just high revving, it's incredibly light, weighing just 12.5 kilograms. That's a feather for such a vital component, and it contributes to how quickly the engine can spin up. responding like a race engine. But the power is just part of the story. The way it's delivered makes the Jesko feel like a totally different animal. It's paired with a wild piece of gearbox tech called the Light Speed Transmission, or LST for short. This 9-speed multi-clutch gearbox isn't like your typical dual clutch. It uses a system of multiple clutches that can engage or disengage any gear at any time. There's no sequential shifting. You can go from 7th to 3rd in the blink of an eye, instantly, without waiting for the gears in between. The upshifts and downshifts happen so fast, they almost feel psychic. It's like the car is reading your mind and adjusting faster than your hand can move the paddle. Performance-wise, the Jesko Attack is built for the track. It's not just the Attack name that gives it away, it's the whole package. This version of the Jesko is loaded with aggressive aero, including a massive rear wing and an advanced front splitter setup. The downforce numbers are off the charts, over 3,000 pounds at speed, enough to glue the car to the pavement like it's magnetized. When you mix that level of downforce with the power and the razor-sharp gearbox, what you get is a car that not only dominates the straightaways, but becomes a cornering machine too. It doesn't just go fast, it carves up racetracks with scientific precision and violent acceleration. And about acceleration, let's just say it's brutal. Official ERA 60 miles per hour times are expected to be around 2.5 seconds or less, depending on conditions, but what really matters is the way the Jesko keeps pulling long after most supercars start running out of breath. The car can comfortably rocket past 200 miles per hour and keep going with ferocity. Koenigsegg hasn't released an official top speed for the Jesko Attack because it's not designed for top speed runs. That's more the domain of the Jesko Absolute. But make no mistake, this car is mind-bendingly fast. Even at 150 miles per hour, the V8 still feels like it's got a mountain of power in reserve. What really cements the Jesko Attack as an engineering marvel is how usable all this power is. This isn't some drag strip toy that can't handle corners or heat. Koenigsegg has gone to incredible lengths to make the Jesko's performance accessible to skilled drivers on track. The engine is dry-sumped, allowing it to be mounted lower for better center of gravity. It's also built with titanium components, ensuring both strength and lightness. The cooling system is meticulously engineered to keep temps stable even when you're thrashing it at a track day for hours. And let's not forget about how the engine sounds. This V8 doesn't purr, it shrieks, it growls, it howls. The flat plane crank gives it a high-pitched, almost Formula One style scream when you get high into the rev range. It's the kind of noise that makes your hairs stand on end and your heart beat faster. It's loud, raw and totally mechanical, nothing artificial or piped in. When that V8 is at full chat, you're not just hearing it, you're experiencing it like a physical force pressing against your chest, a true monument to what happens when passion and precision meet extreme performance. Question is it affordable or out of reach of car enthusiasts? Out in the wild. This is one of those rare machines that breaks all the rules and then writes its own. But of course, all that comes at a cost. The base price for a brand new Jesko Attack lands somewhere between $2.8 million and $3.4 million USD. That's the ballpark if you're lucky enough to get your hands on one straight from Koenigsegg. But here's the twist. Good luck finding one at that price now. All 125 production units sold out almost immediately, and on the secondary market, prices are soaring past $4 million. European listings are currently hovering around 3.7 to 3.9 million. And even that feels like a steal, given how rare and highly sought after this car is. Why does it cost so much? Well, for starters, it's not just about the numbers on the speedometer. It's about what goes into making those numbers possible. We already talked about how fast is the beast and how brilliant its 5-litre twin-turbocharged engine is. That's Bugatti-crushing power levels. And it doesn't stop there. The car features a revolutionary 9-speed multi-clutch transmission known as the light-speed transmission, which shifts gears faster than you can blink. Then, there's the craftsmanship. This isn't a mass-produced vehicle with one-size-fits-all luxury. Each Jesko is practically a piece of art, fully customizable to suit the buyer's wildest automotive dreams. From the exposed carbon weave on the exterior to interior stitching that can match your favorite suit, everything is meticulously handcrafted. Koenigsegg is known for offering a truly bespoke experience, and that personal touch adds layers of exclusivity and value to the car. When you buy a Jesko Attack, you're not just buying performance, you're buying an identity, something that reflects your taste, wealth, and love for mechanical purity. Globally, the Jesko Attack sits in a very specific and prestigious tier of the hypercar market. It's not just a competitor, it's often seen as the benchmark. Against the Bugatti Chiron, the Jesko is sharper, more focused on the track, and lighter on its feet. While the Chiron is a luxury missile for grand touring, the Jesko is built for hammering lap times and destroying straightaways with brutal efficiency. Compared to something like the Pagani Huayra, the Jesko offers more raw horsepower and cutting-edge technology, although it may sacrifice a bit of the artistic flair that Pagani is known for. That said, what the Jesko may lack in ornate design, it makes up for with sheer purpose-built aggression and performance innovation. The global positioning of the Jesko Attack is a mix of mechanical prestige and cultural icon status. It's part of a dying breed of internal combustion hypercars, and that makes it even more desirable. In a world quickly shifting toward electric vehicles, the Jesko represents one last great gasp of petrol-powered insanity. It's a machine that refuses to go quietly into the electric night. Because of that, collectors and enthusiasts see it as a time capsule, a throwback to an era of pure, unfiltered speed and noise. For many, owning a Jesko isn't just about driving, it's about preserving something that the world may never see again. Market-wise, the Jesko Attack is holding its value impressively well. Despite the rise of hybrid and electric hypercars from brands like Rimac and Lotus, the Jesko's demand hasn't really wavered. That's probably due to the fact that it's so limited, so powerful, and so heavily tied to Koenigsegg's reputation for cutting-edge tech and fearless engineering. Many buyers see it as an investment, knowing full well that its value is unlikely to dip anytime soon. If anything, it may increase as ICE, internal combustion engine, supercars become more of a collector's item. We're talking about a car that's already commanding a $1 million premium on the resale market just a few years after its reveal. That's a clear sign of confidence from high-end buyers. But beyond the price tags and performance stats, the Jesko Attack just has presence. This thing doesn't just drive, it dominates the space it's in. Take it out on the street, and it's guaranteed to turn heads. In fact, footage from London and Monaco shows crowds forming around parked Jeskos like it's a celebrity sighting. That kind of street presence can't be engineered. It's earned. And Koenigsegg has earned it through decades of wild ideas and bold executions. The Jesko Attack is the culmination of that philosophy. It's not trying to be subtle, it's unapologetically extreme in every way, from its design and power to its mission as a track weapon for the streets. The Koenigsegg Jesko Attack isn't just a hypercar, it's the hypercar. It represents the best of what internal combustion performance can be before the automotive world goes fully electric. It carries a price tag that reflects its rarity, technology, and cultural significance. It competes at the top of the hypercar food chain and often comes out on top. It's a reminder that even in an era of silent EVs and self-driving tech, there's still room for raw power, crazy engineering, and a little bit of madness. However, is it the best yet, or just performing similar with existing fast and furious brands at the moment? The rivals. The Jesko Attack is the track-focused version of the Jesko, a car that was already pushing the limits of what anyone thought was possible. What exactly is the Jesko Attack built for? Speed, sure, but not just top speed. This car is designed to dominate on the track. Think of it as the sharpest knife in the Koenigsegg kitchen. It's got one of the most aggressive aerodynamic setups ever put on a road car, with a huge rear wing, advanced front splitter, active underbody airflow management, and all the tech you'd expect from a modern hypercar. The question is, how does the Jesko Attack stack up against its biggest rivals? Let's go one by one, starting with the Bugatti Chiron Super Sport 300 Plus. This is the car that famously broke the 300 miles per hour barrier, a benchmark for top speed bragging rights. It's a monster with a quad-turbo W-Steen and 1578 horsepower. But here's the thing, while the Bugatti is faster in a straight line, at least on paper, it's not really a track car. It's incredibly heavy, luxurious, and honestly more like a high-speed Grand Tourer. In corners, the Jesko would absolutely eat the Bugatti alive. The Chiron is about bullet train speed. The Jesko Attack is a Formula One car with license plates. Then there's the Hennessy Venom F5, which is Hennessy's entry into the hyperspeed wars. On paper, it's actually more powerful than the Jesko with over 1800 horsepower. It's also super lightweight and built from scratch with top speed in mind. But here's the thing, Hennessy doesn't have the same level of proven tech or track-tested results as Koenigsegg. The Jesko's LST transmission alone is more advanced than anything the Venom F5 offers. Plus, the F5 is still working to fully prove itself in real-world conditions. Meanwhile, Koenigsegg already has a reputation for delivering what it promises, and then some. And then we've got the SSC Tuatara, a car that's been surrounded by controversy ever since it claimed a record-breaking top speed that later turned out to be, let's say, questionable. The Tuatara has over 1700 HP and looks stunning, no doubt about it. But again, when it comes to actual verified performance, Koenigsegg walks the walk. The Jesko Attack isn't just about a number, it's about delivering consistent, real-world performance across all conditions, corners, straights, braking zones, and more. Koenigsegg has an almost obsessive approach to validation and testing, which builds more trust than headline-grabbing claims alone. You also can't ignore cars like the McLaren Senna and Aston Martin Valkyrie, which are more focused on extreme track performance than top speed. The Senna is basically a surgical tool for the racetrack. It's lightweight, super agile, and delivers fantastic feedback, but it's only got 800 plus horsepower, and it doesn't have anywhere near the same level of innovation as the Jesko. Then there's the Valkyrie, which is much closer in spirit to the Jesko Attack. It's got a naturally aspirated V12 co-developed with Cosworth, a full F1-style aero package, and tech inspired by Red Bull Racing's F1 team. The Valkyrie might be the Jesko's fiercest competitor in terms of track capabilities, but it still lacks the LST transmission, the active suspension system, and the sheer versatility Koenigsegg has engineered into the Jesko. Where the Jesko really starts to pull away is in the blend of performance and usability. This is a car you can, if you're insane enough, actually drive on the road. It has power windows, a touchscreen, Apple CarPlay, and even a decent amount of storage space for a hypercar. The removable Targa-style roof lets you enjoy open-air driving, which you won't get in many other extreme hypercars. The car even has Koenigsegg's auto-skin feature, which lets the doors and body panels open automatically with hydraulics. It's a perfect example of how Koenigsegg doesn't just build fast cars, they build futuristic machines that feel like they came from another dimension. And let's not forget the reputation and engineering culture behind Koenigsegg. Christian von Koenigsegg and his team are not like traditional automakers. They invent their own technologies, literally. From camless engines, free valve, to carbon fiber wheels to the LST gearbox, everything is done in-house with one goal: pushing boundaries. Compared to bigger brands like Bugatti, owned by the Volkswagen Group, or Aston Martin, which leans heavily on partners, Koenigsegg is the underdog that somehow keeps outsmarting the giants. And that underdog mentality shows in the Jesko Attack. It's not just fast, it's clever, wild, and incredibly well executed. When all is said and done, how does the Jesko Attack compare to its competition? If you care purely about top speed, then yeah, cars like the Chiron Supersport 300 and the Venom F5 might edge ahead in a straight-line run on a perfectly flat, endless runway. But if you're looking for a hypercar that combines mind-melting speed, F1-level handling, futuristic tech, and next-gen engineering, the Jesko Attack is in a class of its own. It's not just trying to go fast, it's trying to redefine what a car can be. And in a world full of numbers and hype, that's what truly sets it apart. Let's see if the public approves of this another hypercar in the industry. The truth of the masses. Like any extreme machine, it hasn't escaped criticism or negative feedback. When you dive beneath the surface hype and marketing gloss, some pretty valid concerns and issues come up that people in the car community and critics alike have pointed out. First off, one of the biggest gripes with the Jesko Attack V8 is just how unapproachable it is for most people. I mean, we're talking about a car that costs millions and is so hyper-focused on being the fastest on the track. It completely disregards everyday usability. Some reviewers say it's borderline impossible to drive without a professional racing background. The aggressive aerodynamics and track-ready suspension setup make it extremely unforgiving. This makes it a car that's essentially off-limits to most driving enthusiasts who might want to enjoy something this wild, but can't because it's just too intense. It's almost like a race car disguised as a road car, but without any of the usual compromises that make supercars more user-friendly. This alienates a huge chunk of potential buyers who crave that balance between excitement and drivability. Then there's the whole debate about the engine choice. Koenigsegg went with a twin-turbo V8 instead of their usual in-house V8 or hybrid system found in previous models like the Regera. Some purists and critics argue that the Jesko Attack's engine, while powerful, feels a little outdated compared to the cutting-edge hybrid tech that competitors are pushing. This naturally leads to questions about whether Koenigsegg is truly innovating or just rehashing old tech. Also, turbo lag can sometimes be an issue with this setup, especially when the car's all about instantaneous power delivery. The way the power comes on might feel a bit unpredictable or jerky to some drivers, which clashes with the smooth, seamless powertrain performance expected at this level. Another point people often bring up is the overall weight of the Jesko Attack V8. For a track-focused hypercar, it's surprisingly heavy. At over 1,100 kilograms, around 2,900 pounds, it's not exactly feather light. This weight can blunt some of the car's handling potential, making it feel less nimble and more cumbersome when you're pushing hard on tight corners. Some critics have argued that Koenigsegg could have done more to shave off weight with carbon fiber or other exotic materials. The problem is, with all the aero add-ons and safety reinforcements, the Jesko Attack V8 ends up packing on pounds, which kind of defeats the purpose of being a razor-sharp track tool. Speaking of aerodynamics, while the aggressive styling is stunning, it's also a point of contention. The massive wings, huge splitters and crazy diffusers do their job in theory, but many people feel the car looks a bit over the top, like it's trying too hard to scream, "Look at me," rather than achieving elegant functional design. Some critics feel the design sacrifices refinement for brute force appearance. Plus, that extreme aero setup makes the car much less practical for anything other than the track. Ground clearance is so low it can't handle most regular roads or even slight bumps without scraping the hell out of the undercarriage. It's essentially a car that's only good on smooth, perfect tarmac, limiting where you can realistically drive it. Then there's the issue of exclusivity and accessibility. Koenigsegg's brand itself is all about being ultra-rare and elite, but the Jesko Attack V8 takes this to a whole new level. With only a handful made, and a price tag north of $3 million, this car is ridiculously out of reach for nearly everyone. This exclusivity creates a bit of backlash, especially from fans who want to see hypercar tech trickle down to more attainable models. It also fosters a sense that Koenigsegg is catering only to ultra-rich collectors rather than true enthusiasts who might appreciate the engineering but can't get near one. On the tech front, while Koenigsegg is known for pushing boundaries, some of the new systems in the Jesko Attack V8 have been criticized as being overly complicated or unproven. The company's proprietary 9-speed multi-clutch transmission, for example, is incredibly advanced, but some reports from test drivers mention it can feel jerky or not as smooth as a traditional dual-clutch or single-clutch setup. This could be a problem during everyday driving or even on the track, where seamless power delivery is crucial. Plus, complex systems often mean higher maintenance costs and potential reliability issues down the line, which is something that worries potential buyers of such an expensive machine. Lastly, it's worth mentioning the broader criticism of the hypercar arms race that the Jesko Attack V8 is a part of. Many automotive enthusiasts and journalists feel that cars like this are pushing the limits of speed and technology just for bragging rights rather than practical advancements. The Jesko Attack V8, with its insane horsepower output and wild aero, symbolizes this trend where manufacturers are obsessed with lap times and top speed numbers, but neglect the broader experience of what makes a great car enjoyable. It's a niche product for a tiny, wealthy audience that few will ever get to drive, let alone own. Did you enjoy the video? Leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more exciting ones.